So now after fetching the data and set the our states into the data which is coming from our API, so now it's time, I think we can display our movies and the results in our page. So first, when we hit enter for the search, while the data being arrived into our and set into our state, the loading process through this, while this is happening, we won't have any data through that. We won't have any states data to display inside our page. So while is that happening, we will display a spinner which will basically saying that the data is loading, and while it's arriving, it's just loading for now, and then we'll display after the data being arrived, the movies will display it in our page. So first we need to create a spinner to display while the data is fetching. So let's go to components. Here's the components. Let's go to the layout and let's create a new file, spinner.js. So it's a functional or function based component. So RFE okay, nope, RFCE, I believe. Oh, okay. And also we need to import a GIF image that I already inserted inside the layout folder. So I will import spinner from spinner GIF, and I will copy and paste. Okay, here's our spinner. Let's make it small, and it's just basically an image, and the source is the spinner, which is the GIF file. Also we have a style. To make some styles, inline styles in your components, you need to use this syntax, curly braces with just like you are typing some object. So just curly braces and the style values and the styles you need to apply. So we basically taking the width, making a width of 20 pixels, margin auto to make it at the center, and display block. And that's it for the spinner. Let's save. So let's go to the landing, which is the basic component in home. Go to landing. So basically what we need to do here is that we need to display first the search form, and beneath the search form we need to display either the movies if we already have results, or the spinner. So that depends on the movie's state value. So we will check our movie's state. If it is empty, we will display the spinner. If it is full and have any data, we will display the movies container. So the movies container will contains all the movies cards, and each card is a movie itself. So let's first let's go ahead and create our movies container. So you know what, I already noticed that we can use the loading state to decide whether to display the spinner or displaying the movies. So depending on the loading state, we will decide whether to display the spinner or displaying the movies card. So in our landing object or component, sorry, let's make some destructuring. First, we need to use the states inside our component. So if you can remember, we need to import connect to connect our component into the states. We need to import it from React Redux, and here's the connects. Also, we need to map state to props. We need to create map state to props equals state, and that will take the state and insert it as a prop into our component. So we need, in our case, we need the loading state, and we need to go to state.movies.loading. That will pass the loading as a prop into our component. So to get that prop, to get the loading, we need to access this by using this .props.loading. So each time we are needing to use the loading, we need to access loading by typing this .props.loading. So to save the time, we can use the ESX destructuring. So let's create a variable of loading and set this into just destructuring. Sorry, it's not like this. And curly braces around the loading, and that will pull out the loading from the loading prop. Need to delete this. So basically, with destructuring, we are calling the props and saying that we need the loading to pull out this loading out of our props. And the loading, remember, the loading is already inside our props because we map state to props, so we can insert the loading state as a prop into our component. I hope that's clear. So for loading, first we need to check if the loading is true or false. So by doing that, and of course we need to, if you need to use JavaScript inside your HTML, you need to put a curly braces. So loading, is it true or false? If it is true, just display the spinner component. If it is false, which means that the data already inside our states, so let's display a component we will create in a moment, movies container. So by checking the loading, if it is true, so just display the spinner. If it is false, just display the movies. So let's import import movies container from let's say, okay, and let's go ahead and create the movies container component inside home. .js, and it's a class based component RCE tab. Okay, so basically in the movies container we will check the movie's state value. So if it is empty, we will display nothing, just null. And if it is full or having any value, any value, then we will display a single. We will map through the movie's state object, and we will display a movie card, which is a component we will display. We will create in a minute. So let's first we need a movie's state. The movie's state from Redux. So let's import connect from React Redux. Also we need to import a movie card from movie card. We will create in a minute. This is another component. So let's jump into and connect and map state to props and go create map state to props. Oops. Okay. Equals state, and that will return we need movies from the state dot movies dot movies. So remember, we have a parent state object, and inside it we are having this all our states, all our app states. So this movies, which is exactly what we want from the states. So in the render method, let's destructure the movies. Const movies out of the props, this dot props, so we can use movies. So in the return, so let's first create a content variable and set it to an empty string, and let's say that the content is equal to, depending on the condition we will test. So the condition, the movies is an array, so it contains an array, which is an array of items, contains items. So if the array length is 0, which means is that the array is empty. So if it is bigger than 0, so our array is not empty, so it's having having movies inside it. So basically we need to check if the movies dot length, which is an array method, if the movie's length is bigger than 0 and question mark, so the content will be equal to movies dot map. I'll explain this in a minute. And this map takes movie and index, and for each one we'll display movie card, and for the movie card we are having a key of index, and also we are having a movie, which is the movie. Okay, I know it's in the other case we'll display null. Okay, so for the content we basically testing the movies length, movies array. So if it is bigger than 0, so we will take this movies array and map through it. So this map method being added, I believe it's in ES5 or 6, I don't remember, but basically what this method do is that it's basically mapping through the items of the array, and giving us the movie or the item and the index of that item, the index of that item inside the array. So basically this is taking each one of these items and displaying a movie card component, which we will create in a minute, and displaying it depending on the index and the movie the item of that movie. So we are having movie and index for each item. We are having an index and we are having the movie of that item. So we are passing those information for the movie card. So for each item it will display a movie with a key and index, also with a movie, with the movie itself. I hope that clear enough. So remember, we didn't return anything yet to our component. So first we just need to return the content variable. Also we will give this a class name of row. Okay, and this is the movie container, the movies container. So let's go ahead and create the movie card component. It is a class-based component. So basically we are passing to this component a key of index. Also we are passing a movie prop. So this is a prop which we can use inside our component. So let's pull out the movie by destructuring. Let's pull out the movie out of this dot props, and I will paste the basic HTML structure here for the movie card. Oops. Okay. Okay, anyway, so basically we will, if you can remember from the movie, we can get the title out of this movie. So let's go ahead, let's try it and see the results here. If you remember, last time we tried the this whatever text, we get this response. So this is the movies array, and each one of these are a single is a single item of this array, which is the single movie, which is this movie we are getting in the props. So for this movie, we are having a title and a year. Also, we are having an IMDb ID. Also, we're having a poster for the image. So let's go ahead and use this movie to pass the source into our image. So we simply can type movie dot poster, because this is the name, this is the property coming from the API, which is the poster, which will gives us the image link of this movie. Also, we need to the movie title. So let's go ahead and use movie dot title. Also, let's replace this with the movie dot year. Also, there's a link for this single movie information. I will leave this for now. I will leave this while when I use the links for the React. I will implement and insert links here and see how it's working. For now, let's just also change the names of the class into class name, and I believe that's it for this component. Let's see this. Okay, we are passing the movie card. We already import the movie card. Also, we're having movie. Okay, displaying the content. Let's save. Also, let's go to the landing and see if we missed something. Notes, everything looks good. Let's save. So let's save this. Okay, we are having some error. It's not defined where it is in the landing.js. We haven't, that's right, we haven't import the spinner. So let's spinner from we are inside home, so let's go outside. Let's go to the layout, and inside layout we have a spinner. Oops. Okay, let's save. Everything looks good. I just noticed that I forgot the curly braces from the props. Okay, let's save. Let's go and try some movie name. Okay. Okay, we have an image. Okay, there's some errors with the styling. I'll take care of this, but basically it's displaying the movie card. I think it's a bootstrap classes problem. So I will take care of this. We will take care of this in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you later.